Well, it looks like we got a couple of empty cubes here in this big, massive cube section there. Well, I guess it's a good thing that we've got all this G.I. Joe retro to open up and put in those empty spots. Guys, you're going to want to stick around. Next on Tales from Collector's Paradise, featuring Bigsteviepump. Tales from Collector's Paradise, hosted by yours truly, Bigsteviepump. Hey guys, Bigsteviepump here. Thank you for joining me today on Tales from Collector's Paradise. And man, have we got an awesome show for you today. The G.I. Joe retro line from Walmart. That's right, the Walmart Exclusive G.I. Joe retro line. The 3 3/4 guys, man, just like when I was a kid. You know, that's one of the big things that got me started in '82 was G.I. Joe on collecting. And, you know, once I seen Snake Eyes pictured on the back, I just had to have him. Speaking of Snake Eyes, that's actually what started me on this line. I was headed up to see my good friend Keith A-Hole in, almost Kentucky, barely Tennessee. And I made a pit stop in Carthage, Tennessee Walmart. And on the shelf, all they had hanging was 2 Snake Eyes. So I went ahead and got them both. One for me and one for Keith A-Hole as a gift. So at that point, I was on the fence if I was going to get them or not. But once I got Snake Eyes, I'm like, okay, cool. Then I started looking for Storm Shadow. I'm like, okay, cool, Storm Shadow. I'm going to go ahead and get him. Next thing you know, I done bought Destro and, all of them. But Baroness has actually taken me a while to find. She is hard to find, folks. And it's, these actually started hitting before Christmas, but I'm just now getting around to this because it took me so long to find Baroness. And now, actually, Wave 2 is hit with Lady Jaye and Duke and Cobra Commander. So I went ahead and scored them, and we're going to show them, and we're going to show all of Wave 1. It's going to be awesome. And there's rumors of a Cobra Fang. Not sure on that. I've got to do some more research and some more checking. I mean, I've seen people online saying, oh, they canceled my pre-orders. But then I've also said people acting like it's a Brazilian exclusive. Really not sure. And Hasbro really isn't putting out much info. I mean, Hasbro's doing a pretty terrible job of promoting this line, the Walmart Exclusive G.I. Joe 3 3/4. And they're doing an even worse job of promoting the 6-inch, line. I mean, Hasbro literally just dropped the ball on this, folks. They literally just dropped the ball. They did not think this was going to be as big as it is. I mean, that's what we've been told. Remember, BeCollectibles.com, by the way, we've got most of the Joes in stock, the 6-inch line, all the ones that aren't store exclusives. Anyway, we've been told by our vendors and our suppliers that, Hasbro just missed the boat on it. They just didn't think the line was going to do all that well because in previous times when they've tried to re-release the Joes, it just hadn't really worked out. But of course, they've never done them like this, the 6-inch line where they, look cool like the, Star Wars Black Series and the WWE Mattel Elites and some of these, what collectors are expecting in 2021. It's taken Hasbro a little bit to figure that out. And then here they finally like, oh, okay, well, let's put some G.I. Joes out. Oh man, these are blowing out. We can't keep them in stock. So now they're having to re-release these figures. They can't even hardly get new characters out because they just done such a bad job on this. They keep having to re-release the characters that were in Wave 1 because they never actually really just got them out there. Anyway, come on, Hasbro, do a better job. Shame on you. But let's not worry about that. Today we're talking about the 3 3/4-inch line. So let's go ahead and get into them, baby. All right, so here let's just go ahead and get up here and let's take a look. We'll go, Cobra Commander, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, Duke. We'll cruise on over here to Lady Jaye, Scarlett, Roadblock. And then we'll go ahead and look at the impossible to find Baroness, man. And then Destro. And then you've got the H.I.S.S tank. And then you've got the Awe Striker. So that's what we're going to look at today, folks. And I'm going to pause it real quick and get a look at the back of them so you can see that. All right, and here's the back of them. So we'll start on this same little path here. So the really cool thing is, one, the cards, the file cards. And that's one of the things that's missing from the 6-inch line. I don't understand why they didn't do file cards, but on the 3 3/4-inch line, they definitely did. So kudos to you, Hasbro, for that. I know I've been giving you a little bit of hard time. But, you haven't done a good job, Hasbro, of putting these out. I mean, you just really haven't, so you deserve to be chastised a little bit for that. And there's the Baroness, Destro, the Cobra H.I.S. tank, and even the file card on the H.I.S. tank there. And then the Awe Striker and the file card on the Awe Striker. It's almost a shame to open these up, folks. I am going to keep the cards and the file cards and all that. But anyway, it's almost a shame to open these up anyway. But we're going to do it because I'm a loosey, guys. I collect loose figures. So let's get them open. All right, man, I'll tell you what, it's like really nerve-wracking to open these up because they're so cool. But, Bigsteviepump is a loose collector. But, I mean, like, look at all the ridiculous amounts of weapons that Snake Eyes comes with. And let's go ahead and, let's see. Usually we do it on this side for the glare. Anyway, guys, I don't know. Maybe that'll be my thumbnail. You never know what the thumbnail's going to be, but it's for real. Look at all of these ridiculous weapons that Snake Eyes comes with, man. I mean, it's just like, wow. And the backs of these are so cool. I'm just going to go ahead and, show Snake Eyes up close. This is the one that, like I said, really got the fever going. And I love the throwback. I mean, this is like a throwback to the original cards, man. I mean, the Classified series, the 6-inch line, I really do love, but I kind of wish they would have done a little more like this, a little bit more throwback. I mean, the boxes are cool, and I get it. That's what they're doing with the Black series, but man, a big blister card would have probably also been pretty cool, Hasbro. Anyway, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to open all these up, and then I guess I'm going to show them. I haven't even decided how I'm going to do that yet, but let's just go ahead and pause it. And I got to start opening some figures, man. Oh, yeah, real quick. You ain't lived unless you've seen a buck 382-1 slit a piece of tape on a Cobra H.I.S. tank. Look at that, folks. That right there. One piece of tape. And all it took was one buck 382-1 to take it down. Are you kidding me? All right, folks. Hang tight. Real quick. All right, so I just wanted to show this. So, like, the Awe Striker, it comes stripped down, man. So you got to do a little bit of putting it together. The wheels come in a bag. The cannon and everything comes in a bag. And, man, they even dialed it back way old school with the instructions and the decals. So, man, I'm going to have to get these big old fat Bigsteviepump fingers on these tiny little decals and try to apply them. That may wait until after this show. I don't know. That's going to take some serious patience, and I don't want to spend like 2 hours filming this show, so the stickers may have to hold up. All right, and here they are all open. So we're going to come in here and show this H.I.S. tank. And, man, you see all these little stickers right here? I'm talking every single one of them. Every single little sticker. Bigsteviepump had to put those on with his big old fat Bigsteviepump fingers. Yep, even that one. So the H.I.S. tank is pretty sweet. Yeah, even that one. Every sticker Bigsteviepump had to apply. Even that one. So, I mean, the turret turns. It's got some cool features about it. So there's the H.I.S. tank. All right, now, one big major complaint, and this is why he's, the H.I.S. tank driver here, Cobra Trooper. Now, these stands, they come with these stands. Now, he's shrugging because he's like, where's my weapon? Yeah, he comes with a vehicle, but you mean you couldn't give me a weapon? I mean, some of these people, and you're going to see in a minute, come with a ridiculous amount of weapons. There's Cobra Commander. There's Destro. And I am going to pull these up here in just a minute and show them to you. Baroness, and look at, all, like, Baroness comes with this weird, like, grappling hook display, and I guess she can kind of stand on that. It's got a spot for peg holes. She comes with a briefcase, and then these guns here. Let's see, let's try to move that. You can see she comes with a couple of pistols. Sorry, these things are so freaking tiny, folks. She comes with the pistols. And here's Storm Shadow. And he comes with an unbelievable amount of weapons, man. These swords, the size. I mean, I'm guessing these are like poisonous darts. Because that middle poisonous dart comes out. I'm guessing that's what it is. Throwing daggers. I mean, this fan. Then this is like another little outfit he can put on or whatever, like a sash. Then you've got a backpack that's got a spot for the blades and everything. I mean, and then some nunchucks with an actual real string in the middle. And Snake Eyes also comes with a ridiculous amount of weapons. I mean, like these throwing stars. I mean, just look at all this stuff, man. And those are actually sheaths for the blades there. A couple of pistols, a couple of silencers there. A couple of daggers. All right, you got Duke. You got Roadblock. And Roadblock comes with that, big old gun right there. Pretty cool. Scarlett. I hate her gun. This barely stays. I'm sure it's going to fall whenever I pick her up to show her here shortly. Lady Jaye. And once again, what's the name of Crankcase? Crankcase. Crankcase also didn't come with a gun, so he's shrugging. Now, Lady Jaye, she comes with 3 guns. She's got these 2, plus the one she's holding. And then, like I said, some of them come with some pretty decent amount of guns. But anyway, here's the Awe Striker here. And once again, I had to put all these stickers on, man. All of these little stickers. Even, look at how ridiculous this tiny sticker, watch head. I had to put that on. I had to put all these stickers on. Not easy to do. I mean, that's a major complaint. I don't know if it's the only complaint. I'm not thrilled with it. Now, look, I do like the way the wheels turn. I do like the way it's kind of, you can see here, I mean, it is, since it is kind of dune buggy-ish, you can see it's got quite a bit of give to it. But, I mean, this is a cool little vehicle. I had to put the brake lights on. And all of these little stickers, man. All of the stickers. I mean, it's just like, I don't mean to keep beleaguering the point, but it's just like, good grief, man. I mean, it took me a while. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did because I wanted them to look complete. I wanted them to look how they look. Now, all right, let's go ahead and pause this and let me stand up and get them and show them to you. He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe!
Ha ha ha! You will never stop Cobra!
Prove Cobra Commander can command anywhere. Nothing will stop Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes could be in trouble. G.I. Joe Classified Series. In stock now at RememberMeACollectibles.com. And that's important to know, because knowing is half the battle. Some styles may vary. G.I. Joe Classified Series by Hasbro. In stock at RememberMeACollectibles.com. Yo, Joe! All right. It's a little bit easier for me to actually, pick them up instead of doing it with my hand. But we'll try to go through these. But you can see the H.I.S.S tank. And, of course, on the bottom, it's got the wheels like that. This may be a little bit longer video because we've got all these little retros. That's all right. Hopefully you'll stick with me. And, I mean, if you don't want to see every little thing, obviously I've shown them, like close up. So, of course, that opens and you can fit a driver inside. You can fit somebody manning the cannons there. So, pretty cool on the H.I.S.S tank. We'll go ahead and show the H.I.S.S tank driver. Now, the one thing I absolutely love are these stands. I love that it's got the Cobra logo. I love that it's got the name. I mean, just, the articulation. Let's go ahead and show it with the H.I.S.S tank driver here. So, you can see they've got a swivel right here at the elbow. You can see that the hand turns. I mean, my hands are pretty big, and these are tiny figures. So, I mean, I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm going to take him off the stand for a minute. And, I mean, double jointed knees, even on a 3 3/4 inch figure. Now, I even like, excuse me, that it's got like the ball joint. I mean, it's got the screws. I mean, very old school Joe, the way they did that. Now, the waist, it'll be a little bit easier to tell on his back. They do not bend. They don't swivel at the waist. Okay, so this is all one piece. They actually swivel right here. So kind of, more in the torso as opposed at the waist. I'm undecided how I feel about that. It's not awful. These have pretty good articulation, and I'm not going to go through the articulation on all of them. It's easy to do him because he didn't come with a weapon. Now, the stands, But there you see his tank driver, and you can see him. I mean, he's cool. He was always one of my favorites as a kid. I liked the way that the black legs, were. And sadly, my G.I. Joe figures are kind of buried, so I can't get them out. But the stand, you can see they got 2 peg holes. I really love the stand, and I wish they would have given the 6-inch figures a stand. I don't really understand that. That's a disappointment. The 6-inch figures should have had a stand. And a file card. I think Hasbro really missed a shot there, a spot. But anyway, it is what it is. Now, Cobra Commander. Couple of extremely awesome things. And then an extremely puzzling thing. Dagger comes out. And these are tiny accessories, folks. But, he's got a sheath for the dagger. Sweet. Check this out. Throwback. Homage to old school Cobra Commander. His gun, clips in the back. They've even got the spot. That's the way the old school Cobra Commander was. Even, the gun. It's just that's how the gun was. So very, very cool. I absolutely love it. And Cobra Commander would almost be my favorite figure, but I am really puzzled by this. This helmet comes off. And he's just a plain old floating, shiny silver head. And look at the way his neck is back here. So I'm really puzzled as to why this helmet would come off. And I mean, when I pulled him out of the package, it just popped off. It just fell off. So it's it's not glue. There's no glue residue or anything. It just literally is supposed to be like that, which I find extremely odd. I don't really understand that. That's the one puzzling thing to me about this whole line. That and the fact that I had to put them stickers on, still not thrilled on that one. But the articulation of these things, man, is pretty good. Destro might be my favorite. The only thing, I kind of wished he was a little more chromed out. They used a flat base silver as opposed to the chrome. But this big briefcase is cool. This gun actually breaks down a little bit. You can take the stock off, and this scope actually comes off. And in the briefcase, I'm going to set Destro down for a minute. So in the briefcase, this briefcase actually opens up. And then inside here, you can see, hopefully, this, it's got a little stand for the gun. It's got a few other little pieces, but you can actually put the gun in here. And he can just carry the gun in his briefcase. Now, if you do that, he doesn't come with a pistol. Now, some of them, have holsters that actually work. We'll get into some of them here in a minute that have, holsters that actually work. But I really dig this Destro. I think this may be my favorite figure. I don't know. It's tough. Because I really like the snake eyes and the storm shadow. But Destro, man, he's right there. He's challenging. I mean, he is challenging for top figure in this line. For me, right now. Now, another one is the Baroness. And I mean, just look at the way that, just on this stand, the way her legs are split. Once again, I love the Cobra stand. Love the name, Baroness. I mean, it's just awesome. Baroness on this stand, man, is something else. I mean, look at that. But, I mean, now one weird thing is she actually does have a spot for a backpack. These all have a hole in their back. But her hair actually covers it up, and you can kind of almost see it, but it's there. But like I said, so look at the torso bend, the way that they chose to do that. Like I said, I like the torso bend, being right there, but I kind of wish it did have a waist swivel, because, I mean, the only swivel is up top. It doesn't have a waist swivel. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't love that. Look at the high heels. They give Baroness high heels, but she can actually stand pretty good on this stand. And then she's got her gun here, man. She's ready for action. And, of course, Baroness does come with a couple of pistols and stuff. And like I said, some of these figures come with a ridiculous amount of weapons, and some of them come with hardly any. like the two drivers, I guess, because you get the vehicle. So here's Storm Shadow. And I mean, once again, there you go. You can actually see on the back of him the hole for the backpack, which he actually does come with a backpack. Snake Eyes does not come with a backpack. So another kind of weird thing, and all of the accessories that Storm Shadow comes with, there ain't anywhere to put them all. I mean, you could put some of them there. I mean, it looks like on this little bandolier or whatever type thing, he's got a couple of notches possibly to hold stuff. On those, there's sheaths for his for the swords, and then he's actually got a backpack for the bow and arrow, and the bow and arrow will actually fit in there. I think we'll show that here in just a second. I'm not going to get too crazy on showing the accessories, but anyway, there you see Storm Shadow. And Storm Shadow's pretty cool, man. So I really like the Storm Shadow. So I said I am going to go ahead and show this. So he comes with a bow and arrow, and then on his backpack, there's the sheaths for the swords. And then it's also got a hole in there where you can slide this arrow in there, slide the arrows in there, and slide that. So that's kind of cool. But I mean, even still, you still don't have enough room for all the Storm Shadow stuff. Now we're going to go down here to Crankcase. So Crankcase, once again, and now the Joe stands, and you can see the difference because the G.I. Joe stands actually say G.I. Joe, and you saw in the Cobra, they had the Cobra logo. So here's another instance where, he doesn't come with any weapons. He's got, just this plain sheath with nothing in it, so he's shrugging. Now, his helmet comes off. Pretty big fan of that. I do really like the way that the helmet comes off. I'm a fan. So there's Crankcase. Let's go ahead and look at Lady Jaye. Lady Jaye, her hat does not come off. But, it's all right. And I like the way that this is not molded. They actually put this as an extra accessory. I think it makes it look better. Well, I just ripped her hand off. There's a handless Lady Jaye. This snaps back on pretty easy. So that's the good and bad about these Joes, the way they've made them. I mean, they are quite a bit of throwback, the way they are, but at the same time, little things like that, the hand popped off and it popped right back on. So, I mean, it's kind of good and bad. I mean, it's not great that they're easy to break, but it's good that they're easy to put back together, I guess. So there's Lady Jaye. Go ahead and get a look at Scarlett. And like I said, I'm going to try to be extremely careful because this Scarlett, this bow is awful. I mean, it is awful. I had the hardest time getting it to stay. This is a separate piece. It just comes in the package, and they trick you and make you think that you're getting all this stuff, and you're not. It's just this one gun kind of broke down, this crossbow piece, rather. And you can see here, the way her hair is. I don't love that. It kind of drapes over this. I put this backpack in, and I kind of had to turn her head to get it in there and turn the backpack, holding the arrows for the crossbow. I had to turn it, tilted, which is fine. But when you see kind of when you got that on, this doesn't look great. And maybe over the course of time, that'll kind of come down. But I actually had to put that little harness on her. That was also loose in the package. A whole lot of assembly for these Joes, man. I'm going to tell you what, some assembly required. But yeah, I mean, on these guys, quite a lot of assembly. So let's go ahead and look at Roadblock. Roadblock here. And once again, they actually give you a spot for a backpack on all these guys, but very few of them come with a backpack. But, I don't know if down the line they're going to come out with some accessory packs or what. I don't really know what Walmart has planned for these. By the way, there is a Cobra Fang. I was able to clarify that. I actually got a message while I was opening these up, and a guy was asking me about, my Joes and stuff, and he told me that he got a Cobra Fang, but he said he hadn't found Duke and Cobra Commander and Lady Jaye yet. So we chatted for a moment, but basically Cobra Fang is a thing. That's real. It's out there. So another cool thing. So Duke has got a couple of cool things. One, once again, kind of like the bandolier, it's an extra accessory. Helmet comes off. There you go. So you can see Duke in all of his glory there. There's the helmet. Tiny helmet. But check this out. Well, let's move his arm up. He's actually, now that holster, either the gun's a smidge big or the holster's a smidge small. Tough to say, but the pistol does come out of the holster. So big fan of that. So Duke, they did a pretty good job with Duke. Helmet comes off, 3D bandolier, accessory comes off, or, can if you want it to. Gun in the holster, perfect. I mean, they did a great job with Duke. I don't necessarily love the sculpt or whatever, but for 3 3/4 inch, they're pretty good. All right, so another weird thing about Snake Eyes. So here's Snake Eyes, and he's potentially my favorite. It's tough to say. I really like that Destro. I really do. And a weird thing about this Snake Eyes is these little bands here. Okay? I'm not in love with the way, these bands are. And once again, this does come off and they're attached to that. So you could get rid of that and make those bands not look like that. But it's like they don't go over his shoulders or whatever. They don't seem to. They're just, weird little bands. I guess they're like a harness or whatever. But look, he does come with, Snake Eyes has got multiple holsters. And since he's, a black figure, it's kind of tough to see, pick up some of the lighting on this stuff. But he's got multiple holsters, a little sheath down at his ankle. He's got a sheath on this, bandolier, piece, or this, flak jacket type thing. He's got Snake Eyes. He's got like a hole here that you could potentially put one of his accessories. Snake Eyes is really got a lot of places for his weapons, and he comes with a lot of weapons. Him and Storm Shadow, they didn't cheap out on Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. They really wanted those guys to be the heat in the line. Get Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, man. I mean, if you're going to get any of them, definitely get Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. But anyway, guys, so that's the G.I. Joe retro line from Walmart. I think they're pretty cool. I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm also a big fan of, the cards. And I pulled the bubble off best I could. I cut it off. But, man, the foul cards are awesome. I really like the foul cards. So, I mean, I got all those. I'm going to keep all those. The instruction pamphlet with the vehicles. And, a lot of times, people talk about the original G.I. Joe line was, it's a vehicle line. They did figures, and that might have been the initial appeal. But think about that first run of figures, man, back in the day, Grunt and Zap and, Short Fuse and some of those. I mean, they all kind of looked the same. They were all just plain green. And then you had Snake Eyes, who looked awesome because he was black. In all a black outfit like a ninja. So it's like, oh, wow, I got to get Snake Eyes. So, I mean, and as the line evolved, they, started making the characters, have more, flair, flavor, color, whatever you want to say. So, they had a ridiculous line, the original G.I. Joe run, how long it was and how many figures and vehicles and stuff they put out. But ultimately, like I said, it was really known for a vehicle line. And I had a lot of that stuff as a kid, and I loved it. And since don't have any of my vehicles, all I have is my figures. They're buried, or I would show them out for comparison. Once again, Bigsteviepump, if he's a little bit more prepared, would have done that. But I didn't have time to dig them out. So they're buried. And some of them I still got to finish repairing. Like I told you, me and Keith A-Hole, we had G.I. Joe Soup, and he helped me. Well, I still got some O-rings. I got to finish repairing them. So that's just a project that's been put on hold for a while. But, man, this G.I. Joe 3 3/4 line, I had to get my hands on them. I just thought they were awesome. But, guys, once again, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope you enjoyed everything I've been showing you with the G.I. Joe 3 3/4 line. I hope you've been enjoying the positive speeches, or the motivational speeches. I hope you've been enjoying, the toy hunts. I'm going to try to get some more food reviews out, Jamie. So, guys, once again, thank you for continuing to like and comment and subscribe. And keep sticking with me because there's plenty of more things to come. We got that toy box is full. That's why I didn't show the toy box today. I'm trying to get it emptied out, folks. Once again, this has been Bigsteviepump on Tales from Collector's Paradise. Bigsteviepump out. Tales from Collector's Paradise, hosted by yours truly, Bigsteviepump. And there's the stuff filling in the holes. So you can see there, Destro, Baroness, Cobra Commander, H.I.S.S driver, which I put one of Baroness's extra guns with him since she comes with 4. Storm Shadow, his tank in the background. You got Awe Striker in the background. Crankcase, Lady Jaye, Scarlett, Roadblock. And look at the size difference. Look at how much bigger Roadblock is than, Duke and Snake Eyes. So that's another cool thing I meant to actually point out earlier. Anyway, pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm a fan.